Today we're visiting St Quintin's Castle.
St Quintin's Castle, also known as Llanblethian Castle, sits on a bend on a road imaginatively called Castle Hill in the village of Llanblethian, hence its alternative name.
It is a building that must have at one time dominated the landscape but now sits in ruins.
The first fortification on this site is believed to have been a ringwork defence with timber walls and a bank and ditch built at the beginning of the 12th century by the Lord of Llanblethian, Herbert de St Quintin.
In the late 12th century, a stone keep was built, possibly a replacement for a wooden predecessor.
The remains of the stone keep can be found within the later gatehouse.
In 1233, the castle and its associated land was seized from the St Quintin family by soldier and mercenary Richard Seward, who in turn lost it to Earl Richard de Clare in 1245.
Richard's grandson Gilbert de Clare built the stone structure of St Quintin's Castle which stands today, sometime after 1307.
Gilbert was killed at the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314, which is possibly why the castle never seems to have been completed.
This impressive, if incomplete, fortification sits on the hill above the River Thor, the longest river entirely in the Vale of Glamorgan.
This is one of the chambers of the gatehouse. There were two of them and they both had arrow slits in the walls, 4 of them. But in the 15th century this was turned into a prison and so the windows were repurposed, like this one here. It's been bricked up halfway up and the other ones have been reshaped. But it's got a fireplace in it so it's not as bad as a dungeon would have been and you can actually see outside, but I should imagine it'd been pretty cold and miserable. This is the other chamber of the gatehouse. You can see that the arrow loops are still intact. And upstairs would have been a residential area. Now it has a walkway and no roof, so you can see quite a good distance around through the windows.
This bridge is brilliant because you can see from a point of view that you wouldn't normally be able to see from. You can see the structure of the gateway, and I'm guessing you can see things that you wouldn't have been able to see when it was complete. I can only assume there would have been a floor below me here. Behind me are the channels that I would assume once held a portcullis, if not then perhaps a large pair of gates. But the fact that you can look down on it all gives you a perspective that you just otherwise wouldn't get. It also allows you to get to the other side, which doesn't appear to have stairs. That's quite a clever idea. It's a good position to be in up on the top of the hill like this. It means that you can see for quite a substantial distance. Admittedly it's a little bit hazy today, but you know, it's a nice hot sunny day and we can see for miles, which meant that this was a very important place to build your castle.
While the gatehouse is beautifully preserved, the inside is a completely different matter. Go round the sides or round the back and what you can see is a nice grassy parky bit and a few lumps of earth with rocks on. That is the interior of it, and it's a good mixture if you just want to stroll around and also see some architecture. Also a nice little place for the community to come and have a picnic or two. Climb up on the mound and you'll see this. In here is quite an interesting thing. It's a tiny little room really, with a window ledge and a shelf, and that's it. There's only just crouching room for a person to stand up. I'm not sure what would have been down there originally, but whatever it was, there's not an awful lot left of it now. Another thing in this place that it has a good amount of it surviving is this wall. It goes around quite a way. Some of it's taller than others, and this bit is the tallest here.
Bearing in mind that this is the second time we've been here, what do you make of St Quintin's Castle?
I like it. I mean, considering it's our second time here, I could still spend all day just having a nose round. It's really pretty, all the trees and everything else just make it.
And it's your favourite time of year, isn't it? Because it's
is.
autumnal. You do like a bit of autumnal stuff.
I like a bit of leaf falling off the tree time of year.
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
It's the change of the colours, isn't it?
It is. I do. I prefer the kind of the reds to the greens, and it's also not too hot and not too cold, just right, like the third bear's porridge.
Bit breezy, but hey ho, can't have everything in life. So, I mean,
just blowing the cobwebs out.
That's it. The gatehouse is sometimes locked, as we discovered the last time we came, which is a bit disappointing. But having been there this time, and it's open and you can wander through, and some corking stuff going on in there. When you consider that there's just not very much else.
It's kind of weird. You don't really think there's that much, and then you go and have a look around, and they're just little nooks with things in.
Yeah.
It's a good exploratory place.
It is. But you kind of expect a castle to have, you know, you go through the gatehouse and then more stuff, and
Yeah.
it's just not there.
You go through the gatehouse and there's less stuff.
Yes, definitely less stuff than one would expect. I think that is probably it for us here.
Yes, I think so. See you next time.
DTFN!